Hey, 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 hey. Love Dr. Nikki from Uranium.com here. I hope you're having an awesome day. The moon's the Earth's partner, creating the tides and allowing for a stable climate. Science says we couldn't exist without the moon. But did you know that you can use the powerful energy of the moon in your day to day life and you don't even need a lot of additional training for it? Well, here's the second in a four-part series of videos dedicated to the different aspects of moon power. The four videos are the waxing cycle, a time for growth and building. This one, the waning cycle, a time for closure and completion. And then there's gardening with the moon. That's both indoor and outdoor. And finally, what your moon phase at birth has to say about you. So make sure to check back often to see when the other videos are released. Today we'll be focusing on a time for closure and completion, the waxing cycle, moon power 2. By knowing the phases of the moon and the best way to use that energy, you can tap into a natural flow to help bring a complete project to help or complete a project and even more. There are 8 phases in the normal 29.5-day cycle of the moon, each phase lasting about 3.7 days. As our closest celestial neighbor, the moon is responsible for the ebb and flow of the tides. It exerts an influence over us humans as well. Remember, we are mostly water. When you understand the phases of the moon and how to use that energy to your advantage, you can improve your chances for success. Now, there are 8 parts of the lunar cycle: the building phase, which starts with the new moon or the dark moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter, and the waxing gibbous. And then the latter half, which we'll be dealing with in this video, which deals with closures, and that consists of the full moon, the waning gibbous or disseminating, the last or the third reconciling moon, and the waning crescent or balsamic moon. And when you understand the lunar energy and how it works through those phases, you can use that information to really help give a better guarantee of success and for a positive outcome. Now, the waning cycle in general is a time for closure and completion. This is the second half of the lunar cycle, and the light of the moon shines down, becoming less and less. Under the fading light, it's time for our efforts to come to fruition, to reap what we have sown, and to release, let go, and surrender that which we can no longer control. Now is the time for closing doors left open far too long. At the end of the cycle, it is a good time for cleansing and preparing for the renewal and rebirth found in the new moon. Now we start, of course, with the full moon. This is the moon at its most luminous when the entire face is brightly lit. It rises in the east as the sun is setting in the west. The bright face shines throughout the night, lighting the darkness. I've even driven a car by the light of the moon. Its light can be bright enough to even cast the glow of light through clouds. The moon in its full phase brings things to light. It shows things that have been hidden. Socializing and sharing are kindly aspected under the light of the full moon. And although you may not feel you are ready, now is the time for you to reveal tender feelings or express your displeasure. This is a good time to socialize and share with others so that they can get to know you and trust you. Exposure is associated with this phase for good or ill. It could also be a time of discovering that which has been hidden. Many speak of feeling a sense of things coming to a head during a full moon, or that something that was hidden is now exposed to full view. Revelations hold sway even if they do not clarify the situation. Your ability to move forward from a situation can be facilitated with information garnered under the full moon. Next, we have the waning gibbous or the disseminating moon. Now, the light of the full moon has begun to fade here. Rising later each day after sunset and setting after dawn has started to brighten the sky. The waning gibbous or disseminating moon is visually seen as a dark crescent on the bright face. This is a time of things recently finished, creativity completed, and it may feel like ideas or concepts are taking on a life of their own. The more relaxed pace of the waning phase of the moon gives time for reflection. You may be able to feel or see things that are coming to an end. Now is a time for considering what has worked to this point and what has held you back. It is best to try to go with the flow of this phase, releasing rather than holding. The third and reconciling moon is the last quarter moon. This is the moon wearing its split personality face where it's divided right down the middle. The fleeting moment of balance before the approaching darkness starts to take control. The moon now rises somewhere near midnight and sets well after sunrise. This is a time of breakthrough and release, sometimes called the reconciling moon, indicating it is a good time for us to reconcile the books and release that which continues to hold us back. It is time to consolidate energy and prepare for the new beginnings to come. It is a time of gathering energy to us, though, and meditation is especially effective under the half or last quarter moon. The last phase of the cycle, the moon rises well after midnight and closes to the first light of dawn. This phase ends when the moon rises the sun's early light and is unseen by our eyes. With more than half of its face covered in shadow, the waning crescent moon symbolizes restoration and preparation. This is a time of completion and endings. The energy of this phase is a good time for rest and recuperation before the more forceful energy of the new moon to come. This phase is the culmination of the waning moon, indicating a time for completion and endings, tying up loose strings and finishing old projects. New ideas and plans are beginning to make their appearance on the horizon. This lunar phase favors you taking time for meditation and patience, and thus the cycle begins again as the waning crescent moon transitions to the dark moon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out for my other videos here at orainum.com. I look forward to seeing you in free chat. Have a great day.